In 1692, there was a breakout of a witch craze in Salem, Massachusetts. More than 20 people were wrongly accused of being witches and were burned to death. Little did they know, the horrific legacy of the Salem witch trials will last for centuries. It all started after a group of girls claimed to be possessed by witches and accused several women of witchcraft. This was backed up by the fact that Christians and other religions believed that the devil gave certain people, known as witches, the power to harm others in return for their loyalty. 115 men, women, and children were accused over the next month. By September 1692, the hysteria had begun to rise and the public opinion had turned against the trials. It became a witch hunt. Family feuds, class warfare, and religious jealousy were all factors in the madness that is known today as the Salem witch trials. What most people don't know is that the witch craze didn't start in Salem. The first wave of migration of Europeans to North America merged with the surge of witch hunts across Europe. Settlers were already on the lookout for signs of witchcraft when they arrived in the colonies. Many men, women, children, and even some dogs were accused of witchcraft. The youngest sentence was 5 years old, and the oldest was nearly 80. All of us can look back at this time as tragic and horrific, but it isn't much different from today. If 150 residents of Massachusetts can be falsely accused of a fictional crime, then how much more likely is it that the residents of Idaho, or any other state in the Union for that matter, can be unfairly convicted of a real crime? Nowadays, punishments aren't as severe, but many people are still falsely accused of crimes. We too have our small points of hysteria, but just because they're small doesn't mean they're always positive. A lot of times, our illogical actions can go unnoticed, causing it to sometimes grow worse. This madness can be seen today as accusations of abuse or domestic violence, where even just being accused of such actions can ruin your reputation forever. Looking at who was accused can give us insight on how they thought as well. For example, the first girl accused during the Salem witch trials was a girl named Ann Putman. False accusations have been around for centuries. A modern-day example is how Michigan has one of the lowest crime rates, but has the second highest rate of its citizens who are either locked up in county jail, state prison, or who are on supervised probation or parole. We today still think that they were not being fair with their trials, but most people don't know is that they were using our judicial system. They had a jury, an unbiased judge, prosecutors, and defenders, yet 150 citizens of Salem, Massachusetts were still falsely accused. Even with such obvious make-believe accusations, the prosecutors were able to prove, without a doubt, that some citizens were witches. If we were to go back to the time of the Salem witch trials and ask them if they believed the so-called witch got a fair trial, they would have most likely said yes. If they used the same judicial system as us, could we say it's flawed? After thinking about it, you could say yes, but it isn't. The system is based on sound principles, but the media, personnel vendettas, class warfare, racism, sexism, religious conflicts, and many other things society sways us to believe that cause people to be falsely accused. After looking at all the evidence, we can see it wasn't the justice system that was at fault, but the way society swayed the outcome. Today, this can still happen, even if we don't realize it, because it's based on what our society believes is fair and okay. To make things more positive, they say the witches were feminist icons nowadays, and some people in Salem still believe in witches. But now they let witches practice their own ways.
People in Salem today treat witches. In Western culture, witchcraft is no longer an aberration punishable by torture or death. Instead, we've entered an era when witches, Wiccans, and other neo-pagans can freely practice magic. Our town today has evolved into a haven for people of all walks of life. We now have a museum for the witch trials called the Salem Witch Museum. During Halloween, some people even honor the witches. Thank you.
Salem has moved on and changed its ways to be more inclusive. Will our society ever have another craze of our own?
Today we can use the Salem witch trials to look at an example of hysteria that has taken over our lives. We can use this to modify our court system and lead us to more fairness.